Join me right now back on the show is newly signed. Can I say newly signed? One lightweight, Johnny
Yeah,
Nunez.
yep, newly signed, one championship debut. So first fight with one. I'm excited.
You have been signed for, I don't know, around 4 months now. Am I correct?
Yeah, I actually signed my contract back in the end of the year of 2018. So, um, I've had my contract signed. So it's been a while.
Now let's go back to the end of the year because your last fight was at the end of last year. I think
Yeah,
what when was that? In November
it was
or
October. No, end of September, the
okay.
Bellator fight. So after that, it was kind of like didn't really want to take. I couldn't take another fight until one actually. So wanted to get out here, settled in, and get training. So
Yeah, when we spoke before your fight with Bellator, you mentioned that you had some plans in the works because I asked you if you had like a one fight deal. What were your future plans with Bellator? And you're just like, oh, I don't know. I got
yeah,
things in the works, and this must be it. This is what you had in the works the whole time.
yeah, it was. It wasn't really out in the media or anything like that. So that was cool. But you know, I had to literally just like put everything aside and like pack up my whole family and just move out here, which took like a good 6 months. I mean, selling things, getting when you just move to another state, you really don't have to worry about the things that you
Mhm.
have to worry about like in another country, like bank accounts and your car. You can't just give my car back, and I don't want it to just sit there. So it was a lot of and I'm a business owner in Vegas too, so I had to figure out all this stuff. There was just so much different components when you're moving to a different country, something that we were not prepared for.
What business do you own in Las Vegas, if you don't mind me
Uh,
asking?
I'm partnered up with the home healthcare agencies. So when I
Okay.
first moved to Las Vegas, right out of college, one of my coaches, mentors, opened up a gym out there and told me to come out there and train. His name's Glenn Amador. He coaches like Roy Nelson, and he was just in Todd Duffy's corner, and he's Blagoy Ivanov, his main coach. But yeah, he brought me out there, and he owns a bunch of those all around the West Coast. And I learned the business. He mentored me through it, and just a few years ago, I put all my eggs in and invested into the company, and now it's a good business. Healthcare is not going anywhere. So it'll have its ups and downs, but especially Vegas for home healthcare is it's a good business there.
Definitely. Now, talking about the transition to Singapore, I know you've had some trips out to Asia before. Living in Asia and visiting Asia are two totally different things. I'm pretty sure you figured that out by now. How are you getting adjusted to the Asian culture, being immersed in it?
I've been to Thailand the last 6 years, but just like for like a month, 6 weeks at a time. Moving over here, it's like it's moved here, so it's Singapore. Singapore. If a lot of people don't know that it's actually pretty nice, and it's really, English is the first spoken language, so it's way easier to get accustomed here. But I still miss the states. There's just so much about the states that I miss, and just the people too. The people are nice here, but you know, the states, friends, family. So it was hard at first. It took us about 3 or 4 months to adjust, but now we feel like this is home. Really, Amaya, our daughter, is just growing up so much here around the Asian culture, which is cool. Yeah, we're excited. And, we'll be here for at least 2 years, so we're excited
Definitely.
for what's to come.
One thing that's good about being in a foreign country with a young kid is that they could actually pretty much pick up a second language if they wanted to
Oh
pretty
yeah,
easily.
we're definitely getting Amaya into. She's going to be speaking Mandarin
Hmm.
and probably one more other language, but it's cool. We're excited about it. She's gonna definitely have a different outlook on life, really,
Yeah.
because she's been to like more countries than a lot of adults do.
Yeah.
So she's pretty well versed, which is nice.
Yeah. Now you joined Evolve MMA, a big
Right.
team, great facilities out there. When you compare the facilities they have there compared to, facilities in North America, what differences do you see? Do you see any differences, or is it better at Evolve?
Yeah, I mean, it's just facilities. I was pretty lucky to, live in Vegas and was able to go over to the UFC Performance Institute and use those facilities. I think Evolve MMA is a lot like those facilities, so I've kind of been accustomed to them a little bit. But your team is really with your coaches and the guys who you're with. So you could have like the nicest stuff, but not the right people. So we got a good fit here, though. That's made it so much easier is the fit with the team and being able to train hard with the good facility.
Definitely, definitely. Now, are you just a fighter, or do you take a coach's role there? Because you have a deep understanding of mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I have been lately just because we've been kind of dealing with different fighters coming up. They've kind of been needing different things, and not just Muay Thai. They've been needing a little bit of like takedowns with your punches, stuff like that. So I help out in that aspect. I definitely try to give my knowledge to my team every chance I get. But I think as time goes on, I will be helping out, and, making that role of teaching these guys, especially the grappling and the wrestling. So we have another guy on our team. His name's Troy Worthen. He's a pretty young kid. Wrestled in college, and he's pretty tough too, and he's really knowledgeable, which is great. You can get so much knowledge from these guys that have backgrounds like myself and Troy. You can learn so much from them, especially me being older in the sport and Troy being brand new. It's like the sport is just evolving so quickly that I think it's a huge benefit for our team. I think so, at least. But
When you got there, did you
yeah,
have to revamp anything? Like any changes that you had to make to
yeah,
adjust,
I did.
yourself or even like your
Yeah,
teammates?
yeah. No, I when getting out here, I kind of realized, well, coming out here, I actually hadn't trained for like from the move and getting all our stuff like literally our house cleaned out. I hadn't trained for a good like 4 weeks, and so I came out here and kind of was able to focus more on my mindset and more of my stand up and literally my quickness. I'm really fast, but I really don't think I use my that ability very often, especially in my fights. So that's something I've been concentrating on. And to be honest, like that's the great thing about out here is like there's nobody really to bother you. I'm not. It's not that I don't like my friends or stuff like that, but it's good to be around friends. But in the States, especially in Vegas, it's like, hey, my brother can call me up, my buddies can call me up, like, hey, we're going to this. Yeah, I wouldn't always do it, but it was just constant, like, hey, we got this going on. But here, it's like I'm up and they're sleeping, so nobody's calling me. Nobody's, I get a lot of time to focus on not only myself but just me and my family, and it's truly um, amazing to be able to do that and to train and fight, do what you love. It's like I can't ask for anything better in my life at this moment, really, especially being here in Singapore.
When you decided like, okay, I'm ready to get a fight booked, there was many dates open. I'm guaranteeing that was an option. You have Singapore, you
No,
could have just
no,
fought. No, there was not.
no. Actually, it's not. It's like we one championship has a lot of fighters, and I was ready back in July and August, and kind of dealt with a few injuries, but there wasn't always the cards were full. Like, yeah, we have fights like pretty much every weekend, but the cards are actually like really full. So I kind of just had to wait, and I wanted to get on earlier, and it's just like there's a lot of fighters in one championship, and there's a lot of like fighters that they want to see us. It's not like just like the UFC or Bellator where it's just MMA. We got kickboxing fights, Muay Thai fights. Um, I hear that maybe some grappling is going to be going on soon. So it's like it's not just MMA fighters that they can just throw on every card. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yeah.
I had to wait. I literally had to wait. Like in Vietnam, you can't do MMA in Vietnam, so
Yeah.
that's a whole card. You know, so I did have to wait, and it's been just itching to get a fight. So I was happy to get the fight when I did.
Well, now you're going to Indonesia. I'm pretty sure in your wildest dreams, you never thought I'm going to be fighting in Indonesia during my career sometime, right?
No, not Indonesia. I fought in some pretty uh, you know um, exotic places. I fought in Costa Rica. I fought in Nicaragua as well. So never Indonesia. Never would have thought Indonesia, but I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. There's so much cool about Southeast Asia that a lot of people don't know, and it's something that maybe they'll, oh, he's fighting in Indonesia. Maybe I'll go check it out someday. So hopefully that inspires some people.
You're facing Kazuki Tokudome. He's a former Pancrase champion, a UFC veteran. He's fought some of the biggest names in one championship in the division. After watching some of his recent performances, what is your assessment of him?
Well, he's been in the fight game for a while. Honestly, I'm really not that impressed with him. I think I don't think he's really evolving as a fighter, especially, I've watched some of his early fights and then I've watched some of his later fights, and it's really, really nothing different. So I'm not expecting anything different, but I'm prepared for it. And, he's a southpaw. I love to fight southpaw, so I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this fight.
At Evolve, who are the guys? We know that some of the guys, but who are the guys that you work with to get ready for this upcoming fight?
I kind of only have a few guys that are literally my size. Everybody else is a little bit smaller. Amir Khan, he's a lightweight as well, so he's my main training partner. Um, but it's like that's the only one I got as far as I'll roll around with some of the jiu-jitsu students, but as far as just training partners, I was going to bring a couple training partners out here from Vegas, but just didn't work out. So pretty much Amir Khan's been my main training partner. Um, Somebody came in this week from Hong Kong out there. His name was Lucas. He's a Brazilian, pretty big guy, but he's only been here for like 3 or 4 days, and then he's out next week. So um, yeah, just Amir Khan really. As far as coaches, Heath is our head coach at the moment, and pretty much just hit pads with the stand-up guys. I still go a lot of stuff with my coach back home. Online. I'll talk to him. I'll send him videos, and he kind of helps me out a lot. Nate. So, um, yeah. So those are my main training partners, and pretty much have one coach at the moment. Hopefully after this fight, I'm gonna really try to push the, taking it that I don't get hurt or anything like that. I want to fight as soon as possible, maybe one more time before the year's over. So there's a Singapore card here in November, so I'd love to be on that one as well. So quick turnaround.
Definitely. Well, you're 34 years old. What's your aspirations with the promotion moving forward?
This one championship's got such a unique style of like fighters, and it's something that's really different. But I honestly think I fit in well with one championship, and I'm definitely, as of right now, making a run for that belt. So um, I just want to impress, finish, and make my family proud, and make money to support my family as well.
The lightweight division has so many names, from guys that people know and from guys that people have not found out about yet. You got like Eddie Alvarez, that I'm pretty sure is on the list of guys that you would like to face
Oh
in the
yeah,
next year or
absolutely.
so, right?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. I want to go against the best, even if they're my teammate. I want to number one, just make as much money as I can. I'm not in this for another 10, 12 years. So I'm trying to make money right now to support my family, and you know hopefully change some lives while I'm at it. I just finished up my firefighter certifications in Vegas before I came out here. That was the whole plan. I was going to start applying, but then we got the opportunity to come out here, so I kind of put all that on hold. So after we're done with here, my career is going to be firefighting. So um, I'm just trying to make some money as I can right now and change some lives while I'm at it.
So your plan is within the 2 year span, you're going to be having that belt wrapped around your waist and
Yeah,
defending it.
absolutely. I will do everything in my power to make that happen. I still there's just different dynamics on how you can go about that stuff now, especially these days. It's like, do you call people out to get that title shot? Um, do you just put your head down and fight, and then end up fighting 5-6 times before you even getting looked at? Like, those are some things you have to take in consideration when you're making a run for that belt. To me, just the belt isn't my only option. It's changing lives, making money, and when I'm all done with one championship, I will have the championship belt at some point in my career.
So basically, you want the biggest fights possible as
Yeah,
soon as possible.
absolutely. As
That's
soon
what
as
you need.
possible. Yep. I got so much time here in Singapore to just focus on myself getting better and staying healthy and just doing all the right things when since my whole career I kind of wasn't doing the right things as far as stress levels, putting too much on my plate, having to go to my other businesses. I'm not even there. So there's stuff that's just out of my hands, and it's my time to concentrate on my health and me getting better and achieving that ultimate goal.
Speaking of titles, next weekend in Tokyo at 1 Century, the lightweight Grand Prix finals is happening. Eddie got hurt. Christian Lee
Yeah,
steps in. He's facing Doggy. I know that you helped Amir, I believe, for Doggy when he was gonna fight him, right? Now, when you look
yeah.
at this matchup between Lee and Doggy, what is your breakdown and who do you believe will win that fight?
It's the lightweight division. I mean, obviously, with one championship, you can weigh. Um, there's no cutting weight, so you can weigh 170 pounds. I think Dougie is a lot bigger than Christian. I think he's gonna. I think it's gonna be a dogfight, but Christian can scramble, and maybe get him tired. So my thoughts on the fight, it's probably gonna go quick, either way, unless Christian can drag him out in the later rounds. I could see Christian being successful, but he always catches guys too. So it's gonna be an interesting fight. I didn't even hear what Eddie was hurt with. Did you? Did
No, I
he?
don't think that was revealed
Maybe just said
exactly.
he was hurt. They didn't
Yeah,
say nothing.
yeah.
Yeah, I just read about it the other day as well. It kind of. I was wondering, like, how, I just saw that, like, Christian Lee steps up. Like, what do you mean steps up? Like, how is he going to defend the belt? Like, I was just confused. Like, they didn't even ask anybody else. I would have jumped right in there. It would
I
have been
know you
great
would
if
have.
Christian was
Yeah,
there.
of course.
So it's like, man, nobody even gave me the opportunity or anybody. So, I mean, it's a big card. I get
Yeah.
it. It's smart on one championship, but it's like, man, well, how are they gonna, say Dougie beats Christian? Like, what happens now? Do they fight each other
Rematch.
again? Do they
Yeah.
fight each other again? Like, come on. I mean, unless it's a great fight, then people are probably not going to want to see it again. If it's just like a quick fight, then they can't make that fight again. So I don't know. It's just interesting. Like I was saying, the one championship's way of portraying fighters and giving opportunities. So hopefully, I can be that guy they call up if
Yeah.
something like that happens. So
I'm also on the same boat. I'm kind of confused, like what would happen. What does that do to the belt? It's kind of
yeah,
like that
maybe
BMF belt. Like
yeah, maybe they
if you
need
win
to
a
just let it
BMF
play
belt,
out
then
for a
who's the
few days.
welterweight champion?
Yeah,
Isn't he the BMF?
yeah, exactly. So maybe they should have just waited a few hours. I could just see it. how it went down. Like, oh, we'll just Christian will do it. Let's get him in there. So I don't even know what the winner gets of the
They
Grand
get
Prix.
a belt.
Oh, they get the belt.
They get a Grand Prix belt.
Belt.
Like, you know, like how Pride used to do it. They used to have the Grand Prix tournament belts
Right.
separately.
Right.
They'll
Yeah.
get a new one. They'll get a new belt, and then yeah, I guess if Doggy wins, he gets a belt. Then he could probably go challenge Christian for the real belt later
So,
this year or next year.
oh, okay. No money though.
I have no idea. I only think the money's on that kickboxing
The
tournament, the $1 million.
kickboxing stuff. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because it's so hard to keep track, especially with the kickboxing and the Muay Thai. It's pretty hard to keep track. So unless there's money involved, if I knew there was stuff like 100 grand of that, man, I'd be definitely knocking on some doors.
Definitely, man. Well, you get to kick your career off with one championship in Jakarta,
Yeah,
October 25th. You know, I'm excited to see what you can do, Johnny, in the division. You know, I feel
too.
like you seem like talking to you today, you seem like you're in the perfect place right now to make a run.
Yeah,
With no
yeah.
distractions, you could train, you could just spend time with your family, you know what's important around you. It
Yeah.
looks really good, man.
And it's that simple, like it's right now. So I can't complain about anything. So
All right, man. Well, I appreciate the time. Hopefully you get this win and maybe you could get that Eddie fight next. Who knows? Who knows what could happen?
that'd be nice. All right, man. Thanks a lot. Appreciate you.